a safer place. You're not alone, we're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride. With knowledge, care, and a voice that's true, the Disability Digest is here for you. We've walked the path, we've heard the fight, we know the pain that hides from sight. But every story matters, every win is real. Together we rise, together we heal. You're not alone, we're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride. With knowledge, care, and a voice that's true, the Disability Digest is here for you. From the first form to the final claim.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. I'm Nadine, and I'm so glad that you've once again joined us today for our YouTube live session. So, if you are applying for Social Security disability or already receiving benefits or going through a review, one of the biggest risks you may face is being accused of fraud. You don't want that. Even if it's unintentional, that can mean delays, investigations, or even losing your benefits. So today, we are going to break down real disability fraud cases, explain what actions can trigger an investigation, and most importantly, share practical steps to protect your benefits and keep your financial security safe. So that's why our very own Brian Tarian, founder of the Disability Digest, with 20 years of knowledge and experience of helping people get, keep, and maximize their benefits, will walk you through more information about today's topic. And of course, we are being joined by Mr. Philip Price, who leads a supportive online community for people navigating the disability process. So thank you so much, Philip, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Nadine. Glad to be here.
All right. So, Brian?
Thank you, Nadine. Brian Tarian here. Appreciate that kind introduction. And great to be with you. And this is our first time ever doing a broadcast on TikTok. So thank you folks out there. And to those of you on YouTube, Facebook, I am in my kit that if you see somebody parked outside your house in a dark van and they get out and they're looking like this and they've got their glasses on and their black shirt and their hat, you might have done something wrong. So we're going to go through it today. We're going to go through the things that commonly happen to people, how to avoid them. And then there's a brand new complication for people that you could actually be accused of something similar to fraud by just becoming homeless. The new executive order from the Trump administration. So you definitely want to hang out for that one. Even if your housing is stable, it is highly disturbing as to what this is and how it will impact those that have a sickness and an injury that lose their work in their home. All right, so let's get into it. Nadine, you want to tell everybody about the Q&A that we're going to have today?
Yes, of course. I would love to. So to those of you who are already tuned in, please stay with us towards the end of the program, because later on we're going to open the floor to those of you who would like to participate and join us live and ask your questions. So I will be posting a Zoom link later, and also numbers that you can call in so that you would be able to ask your questions. So stay tuned.
Great. So from a fraud perspective, we're doing this because a lot of people are freaked out by fraud. and they're concerned about the barriers to getting your benefits, and especially those that have worked so hard to get on them. They're concerned about doing simple daily activities and fear of its fraud. So hopefully this event will give you some peace of mind as to what you can, what you cannot do. And if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, hopefully you'll stop. All right. So the first thing I want to do is kind of just set the mental mindset or the framework for fraud. Is it's not common, and you typically need to be doing something that is outside of the realm of your disability approval expectations, what you need to do to get your benefits, and what you need to do to keep your benefits. So the common examples and situations that people experience simply comes from earning too much money or earning money and not reporting it. So the first thing that people can do, if you're going to earn some money, it's totally fine. But you need to understand how much you can make and get your benefits approved, and how much you can make and keep your benefits. So there's a regulation on this that we've reported numerous times. So just make sure, like if you're earning $1,000 a month and you're approved for disability, you're going to be fine. That doesn't demonstrate that you can do full-time work, and it's below the allowed amount. But if you're earning $1,600 a month and you're over the limit, then it's likely you're going to have some problems, and that's what triggers an overpayment. But before an overpayment would happen, and an overpayment is a term that Social Security uses to to process this. But before an overpayment is going to happen, you'll likely have something like this happen to you. You'll be under surveillance. As a matter of fact, next week we have Michael Sexton is going to join us, who is a disability expert that works on cases in disability hearings. And he's going to share with you like a real life surveillance story of somebody that he worked with in court that was under surveillance and they weren't aware of it. So it does happen. So one is earning money. The second one that we have experienced is people are doing things that are inconsistent with their disability approval, either expectations if they're trying to get their benefits, or they're on benefits. An example would be somebody has like degenerative disc disease in their back and then really intense arthritis, and they get approved for benefits for that. But they're commonly riding horses. Not good. And they get under surveillance. Other people have been doing work on their house where they've been working on their house for like 8 hours a day, painting and doing heavy work like that. That stuff, it's, if you just think about it, it's glaringly obvious that that's going to communicate that you could work. So be careful about that. So activities and earnings. Here's things that people are concerned about that, in my opinion and experience of 2 decades of doing this work, that you shouldn't. One is driving a car. I've known people that said, listen, I'm not going to drive until I get my benefits approved. Or I've stopped driving because I don't want to lose my benefits. I want you to think about it this way. In the disability world, the general approval structure is that you're not able to do any job 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. That's what you need to prove for most people. If you're older, over 50, it's slightly different. But let's just go with that framework. So if you drive a car to the store, come back, maybe takes you an hour, go see friends for coffee, go to the doctor's, is that communicating that you can work? No, it's not. So driving is fine, right? So just think about it. If you've got, like, we're going to do comments, if you've got questions about things you can or cannot do, drop them in the comments or join the conversation. For those of you listening out on TikTok, thank you for joining. I don't know how to follow your comments yet, but we are going to get better at this. This is the very first time we're out there on TikTok, in large part of, well, thanks to Tate who is my daughter, who has encouraged us to pursue TikTok and do that. So good to be with you. All right. Now, here's one other thing to consider. If you're concerned about the black hat and the surveillance and all of that, you are off the hook when you exit your Social Security disability payments and you become a Social Security retirement recipient, which is typically 67 for most. So at that point in time, you know, it's like you're like any other retiree. There's benefits that they cannot take away. So here's the things that you should always be doing to get your benefits approved and to keep them. I'm going to give you the short story because this is what we spend like our life communicating out there. Is you want to make sure that you're in treatment consistently and you're documenting your limitations, like journaling your limitations, bringing them to your doctor, making sure those limitations are going in your medical records. That's the evidence. You can tell Social Security whatever you want, but unless it's in the evidence, then they can't make a decision on it. So make sure you're doing that. If you do that and that one simple thing, Social Security can look at you driving a car and other things, but the proof is really in the medical record. So that's the fundamental key. And of course, keep following us here at the Disability Digest. Now, I'm saving the worst to last. Actually, you know, the whole thing about saving the best to last. I get really riled up about this one. This is the new executive order from the Trump administration about becoming homeless. And if you're listening out there and you're still working or you're approved or you've got income and stable housing, good for you. Make sure you keep it because this is extremely concerning. So now you could be criminalized for becoming homeless. I'm going to go through some situations. This is the executive order that just came out. Few things to consider on this. 50% of the individuals that are homeless with a disability, with a sickness or an injury. Most of them are like, they have brain health issues. And about 80,000 people a year apply for Social Security disability benefits are homeless. 80,000 people a year. So I want you to remember that 80,000 number because that's going to trickle down into this. This is from the Social Security Administration. And we'll put the links out to support all the numbers that I've shared with you in the research. So why this is hitting so hard is, think about it this way. In this new environment, if there's a homeless encampment, like I know in Burlington, you know, we have a homeless problem. I don't know about Austin, Philip. Homeless, yeah, it's everywhere. Like here in this area where I live, there are about 30,000 units short. I know this from some buddies that I've hung out with, of places, of units for people to stay. But even if they had those, can people afford them? So this isn't going to go away anytime soon. So here's the challenge with somebody that is commonly living paycheck to paycheck. Like I have a friend of mine, Carol, teacher, and she's able-bodied. She lost her job unexpectedly, age 52, had no money saved, living paycheck to paycheck. She had to borrow money from her parents, and it really made her think, like, what would happen, right? So if you know somebody like this, this is critical because that's the trajectory that happens here. So now the government can come in and do a sweep. They could take out an encampment, they could pick people up, and they could move them somewhere else. Where that somewhere else is, I don't know. But this is the impact that it will have on the population that we serve and why it's so important. And I'm going to share with you a way that you can make a difference in a minute. Somebody's moved. We don't know if they're moved in the same area where their treatment is. So they might be moved 10 miles away. And maybe that's just too far out of the range for them to get to their current treatment. So that means They either don't have treatment or they have to set up new treatment. So, right, we've talked numerous times about treatment, the importance of it. So that's a concern. Second one is, what's going to happen with all their belongings that are typically in one of those shopping carts, right? Which usually is their clothing, any paperwork that they have, and their phone. So if that's not managed properly, then they lose access to their belongings. The phone is the biggest challenge. We worked with a member, Mark, and you can learn about him on our YouTube channel and our playlist, The Success List. We chose to work with him as his representative because his family agreed to keep his phone on and his communication. There's been others that have come to us homeless we haven't been able to help because it's not that they don't qualify. They have the conditions, they had some, you can't get in touch with them. And that means Social Security is going to send them paperwork. They're not going to reply. Case is going to get denied. It's tough. So those are some of the challenges that are going to happen with that. But the biggest thing that really gets me is people lose their ability to have a choice. So if you're homeless now, you have the choice of treatment. I don't think you're going to accept being like incarcerated or taken away and put somewhere and criminalized. But that has gone away. So that's the biggest disturbing thing. All right. So that's my rant on this. One, if you're fine, don't let it happen to you. Two, if you know somebody you can help, here's how you can help them or possibly yourself. And then we're going to get into Q&A. Here at the Disability Digest, we help people with these videos, which, important note to everybody, these videos and these live events are just like a snippet. Like Philip has worked here for 7 years, Nadine's going on her 2nd year. I mean, there's always a learning process in this. So if you think you're getting all the answers by joining this live event, I'd love to give them to you just like that. But it's not the case. The best way we can help you is if you join us as a member, click the green button, come in and join us. There's no charge for your membership. Once you complete your membership profile, that directs you into the courses. Like there's 6 key courses that we have that can help you out. Also, there's support groups and you can talk with an advocate, like one of these folks right here. If you're on TikTok, you don't see them, but they're really good. And so once they understand or better understand your situation, they can get you into the courses and the resources and answer your questions. There's no one size fits all. So how you can help yourself and others, join us as a member. 2, if you're already a member or you don't want to become a member, but you want to help somebody, you can use our Refer a Friend program. Nadine, if you would, just as a reminder, put that in the chat. The Refer a Friend program simply works like this. You fill in your information, their information, takes like less than a minute. They go into our system, they speak with an advocate, they get set up with a membership. And for getting approved for disability, once they speak with an advocate, they get put into the disability approval course, the right section, depending where they're at. No charge for the course or the membership. And the course will help them manage their case all on their own, go through and get approved. Thousands have, or if they don't want to do it on their own, then you could discuss representation as an option. So once you refer somebody and they get into the course and they're on their way, you get paid $100. Once they get approved, then you get a second $100. So you get $200. So what we ask of people that refer, don't let people quit. Like if somebody falls into homelessness, make sure their cell phone stays on. Do what you can to keep them in communication. That's your part. That's above and beyond, but that's what we ask of you. But that's how you can make a difference. I don't see how we're going to, advocate and change policy, but in our small, tight-knit community here and the things that we do, you could guide others through, earn a few dollars, supplement your income, keep your benefits, and make a difference. So those were a few things I had to share with you. So just to recap the section, then we're going to get into Q&A with Nadine, is just really control the controllables. the doctoring piece, communicating your limitations, checking your medical records, staying tuned in here, of course. And then if you get under surveillance or review all that and you're doing everything that you need to do and you're doing it right, I don't expect you're going to have any problems. And if you do, then you can reach out to us and see if we can help you out. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Let's move on with the show, Nadine and Philip.
Yeah, so before we get to our live Q&A, I'll let Philip ask the questions from his group first.
Great.
All right. Let's see here. First question. So I found a denial letter from back in 2017. So will they pay back pay to the time I get approved?
Okay.
From the time I get approved.
So somebody was denied in 2017. They found that letter and sounds to me like they have applied again.
Correct.
Right. So the first case in 2017 is that's done. They didn't appeal it, so it would be based on the new case. That's why if you apply for disability and like you get through and you get a denial letter and you get annoyed, it happens. Just persevere. If you can't work, persevere.
Yeah. All right. What does it mean when SSA is asking me to appoint a designated representative payee? I'm still on stage 3 of my claim.
So if you're asked to designate a payee, the short story is they don't trust you with your money for whatever reason. So they're asking for somebody to like a trusted financial resource to be assigned to your case.
All right, next one. So I found that's the same one. What does it mean when, same one again? I'll get my act here together in a minute.
They're easy to answer if they're the same one. So
okay. What you're describing, no, that ain't right either. It looks like I lost it. Nadine, do you have anything? I'm gonna have to go back and try to pull
Yeah,
that up again.
sure. So while you are sorting that out, I just want to give a shout out to John Eric. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, but he said in the comment here that he just got approved and he wants to thank us for all of our help. So
all right.
congratulations, John.
This
I
one's
hope
for
you
you,
can.
buddy.
All right. Okay, so we have a question here from Russell Dixon. Cola seems like a potential trap. Could $30 extra put someone over the threshold to qualify for certain programs?
This is a good one. So the cost of living increase is assigned annually. I want to say like maybe 2 years ago, Philip, there was one in the 8% range. That caused a lot of problems. So yes, and this is a great time of year to kind of like be aware of this. So here's an example. Let's say that your Social Security disability check is $1,490 a month. That's what you're getting. And you get a cost of living increase that bumps you up another $100. So you go from 1,490 to 1,590. But the threshold for resources is 1,500. So you were below it last year, and now you're above it this year. So that could prevent you from getting your Medicare Part B assistance, which is $185 a month. I want to just pause there.
Be nice.
All right.
What's happening? What's up?
So, does anybody hear that?
Yeah, where that is from.
I think it's great, but it can from somewhere.
Yeah.
Nadine, try muting your microphone.
Platform is anti-bullying.
That's not for me.
Oh, it's from
No
me?
noise here.
To me. Y'all live about my girl Marissa, y'all. Marissa goes.
Oh, I know where it is.
The butt crack of dawn. Okay. The butt crack of dawn.
I know. So listen, I'm new, I'm new at TikTok. So I had my TikTok page on the live stream page, and I guess this is Wednesday. Beastie Chat just popped up. So okay, so back to the show, folks. I'm blaming you, Nadine. Pardon me. I didn't know where it was coming from. So here's the situation. That slight increase could put you out of range from current assistance, and there really isn't, frankly, much you can do about it. So with the Part B assistance, Part B is $185 a month that people receive for assistance. So you think about it, you get a $100 increase in your disability check, but you lose $185 dollar benefit. So just be aware of where you're at, the benefits that you're receiving, what your cost of living is going to be, like, so you're aware of those thresholds. So in January, you're not like caught off guard, and using this structure that I just communicated with you will help you do that. Oh, now you're
Oops. I was mute.
yeah, yeah.
I just wanted everyone to know that I just posted the link for you to join us and ask your questions live. So I posted both the numbers that you can call in and also the Zoom link. And I'm gonna send another link as well with join instructions if you wanted to know more details about how you can join us. So anyway, Russell has another question, Brian. He's asking if there's a protection law for folks who need to keep their medicine refrigerated. So I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know. Like, I'm not like, what would it protect? I don't know. I'm just um seeking a little more clarity, as I still wouldn't know, but
Yeah.
yes. And if you're
Okay,
on
another.
TikTok and you're listening to the Q&A, at this point in time, you'd have to jump over to YouTube. You can find us on at the Disability Digest on YouTube. You can enter your questions. I just haven't figured out how to get the questions and communicate to you on TikTok yet. Hang on, will do.
That's a work in progress for us. All right, another question here from Marie. Second time trying for SSDI. Did the applied, and I have leg problems, so I can't sit or stand for a long time. How do I get approved?
That's a good question. Well, the first thing I would do is follow the directions that I mentioned earlier in the program about coming over to the Disability Digest, getting a membership, getting in, speaking with an advocate, getting into the disability approval course. They'll give you a benchmark if you even have a shot at it. And if you do, then they'll put you into the course, and then you can make your decision, like, from there. Do I want to use the course to understand what to say and do to get approved? Or do I want to get help from a representative? That'd be your step one. And also, based on your limitations, I mean, you did one thing that I think was good. You said, I'm not able to sit or stand for long periods of time, but I don't know if that's like minutes, days, weeks, months. So the course will help you understand how to communicate your story.
All right. Next question from Kitty. You mentioned losing choices. This is what I'm most afraid of. I have a psych disability and I'm unmarried. I live alone. What can I do to protect myself from legislation like this? Should I get a lawyer?
I don't know. I mean, unless you've got something going on, I don't know why you would want to get a lawyer. I'm going to go back to, unless you have an issue with Social Security right now, the best advice that I have, this is just my opinion, is to control what you can control. That is the doctoring, communicating limitations, reviewing your medical records, staying tuned in here, not doing stupid stuff, right? I don't see a need to do that. A lot of people like, I get you with it, but yeah. Plus you'll save some money.
Okay. Next question is from Zippy. I keep a journal, just write down doctor appointments and write down what me talked about. Is this good enough? I feel writing down every day. Who would read 2 to 3 years? I'm on SSDI.
Well, last week we had our resident expert, attorney James Mitchell Brown, and he is a big proponent of daily journaling. You cannot have too much evidence. So I would definitely continue to do that. I think for every doctor's appointment, everybody should have I would like to encourage everybody to have that approach. I mean, that's effective doctoring. So yeah, that's it. And I want to reflect back on one thing that Attorney Brown said last week. I'll kind of give it a shout out there. If you're journaling, what is the most important entry to put in your journal? The first and the most important entry to put in your journal. Now, if you know or don't know, I'm going to give you the answer. It's how you slept. And I've been thinking about it, and it makes so much sense because if you don't have a good night's sleep consistently, you're not going to have mental clarity. You're not going to have the ability to recover. The chances of your condition multiple getting better and better with low to no sleep are minimal. So documenting your sleep is really important, and hopefully you can document it and get better. I mean, good night's sleep is critical, right, Nadine?
Yes. I got hit with that.
Tonight's a
All
different
right.
night.
Nadine, I'm ready to move and finish up my last two questions if you can.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right.
All right, Philip, you're back.
All right. It says, how long after federal remand does it take for a new hearing?
I don't know. There's a lot of variables in that. I mean,
Yeah.
the hearing, I can say this generally about the hearings, is the wait time for hearings are at like an all-time low since I've been doing this. That's because there's so many cases at the initial and reconsideration. I fully expect that to flip back the other way, but it should be, pretty timely. Now, I could tell you if I knew like where you were in the country and when your notice was, because you can like reverse engineer this, but that information I don't have. But if you're a member here at the Disability Digest, you could contact us and we could get more detailed on that.
All right. Last question here for the Facebook group today. It says, I called my SSA lady and she said my case was severe going back to 2011. No clue what that means. I asked about the 5-year rule. She said it doesn't apply to me because mine is so severe. They must got my MRI of my neck and my back. My credits were enough, and told me not to worry. I had no clue what this means.
That's unique, actually. So let's just revisit this. Called Social Security. Social Security said, listen, your case is severe and there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So in the condition evaluation world, there's 3 words that are generally used: mild, moderate, or severe. So Social Security is communicating to this individual that her general case is severe. I mean, like, I guess she could, if she wants to get approved and that's what she's looking for, she should be okay. It's not common that they do that. Even, even if they know, I don't know if this is their protocol. I haven't actually asked this question, that they're going to say, well, you'll receive a notice soon. That's what I would have expected on that call. Yeah.
All right, Nadine, ready to move
All right,
on if you.
Nadine.
All right. Thank you so much, Philip, for those questions from your group. So we still have a few more questions here, Brian, from our live audience.
Yeah.
So there's a follow-up to that question about refrigerated medicine earlier from Russell. So he said his fear is actually being homeless without a refrigerator for his meds. That was the point that he was trying to say
Oh,
earlier. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. That's just another layer of this.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that, if you have a housing concern with medication, and I don't know exactly what your housing situation is, but I would concentrate on getting stable housing. If you're concerned about like where you're at now, is start your housing research for alternative housing. So you have a backup plan. And housing is tough. Like I just mentioned the numbers, it's not easy. So this is really important. So we've done other work on like how, contacting your local center for independent living, getting a housing counselor, communicating this and other information about your housing needs to them, and then starting the process. That would be my best advice. And we did housing and a live event like within the last like 5 or 6 weeks, if I recall. So I'd look back through some of the live events. If you remember at the Disability Digest, send our support desk a note about your situation, and we will get these directions back to you so you can get going on it. Yeah.
Next question. What time frames are you seeing now in the reconsideration process?
Yeah. Depending on the state. Well, so if you think about the reconsideration process, somebody in the same office, different person, is reviewing a decision from one of their colleagues. So if that office is got a 200-day backlog in making decisions, then it could be subject to the same time frame, right? So it's different in Texas than it is in Vermont, than it is in Florida. So it's really going to be dependent upon the actual days. But if you look at what your initial decision time frame was, you can expect about that for the reconsideration.
Okay. Next question from Mark. I got a letter from SSA that is called Ticket to Work, wanting me to call. I am unable to work. Should I be worried about it? Thanks.
No, Ticket to Work is a 100% optional program. And for those of you out there that are interested in the Ticket to Work, I mean, the short story is it's really designed for people that are ready to test full-time employment. My encouragement to people is baby steps. Put your body in a situation where you have to behave like you're working even in a volunteer environment, and move on to a side hustle where you're doing something part-time, and then you can build up. Now you can go into the Ticket to Work program part-time, but it's really designed for you to test your desire to work full-time. So it sounds to me, based on this, Nadine, that in my opinion, what I'm sharing is it wouldn't be a fit now.
All right. We have a question here from Nicole. I have type 1 narcolepsy with cataplexy, which is both a physical and mental disability.
Yep.
SSA still does not identify narcolepsy as a known disability. It's approved under seizure disorder. I'm concerned that the lack of awareness surrounding narcolepsy and will narcolepsy be identified as a disability under SSA anytime in the future. I applied for SSDI first in 2019 and I was denied in 2021 with a very lengthy, detailed denial letter.
That's a really good high-level technical question that I don't have an answer for to crystal ball Social Security, but I can share this with you. If you have seizures and they're documented and they're treated, then the seizure component is what you should leverage to get approved. And an example of that would be like, how often are the seizures? What's your recovery time from the seizures? You know, I have to brush up on narcolepsy, but if you have a seizure and you're out for like 2 or 3 hours and then you're up and you're recovered and, you know, maybe you can do some stuff for the rest of the day, but you're not at full speed, and you're having 2 or 3 of those a month, definitely 3 or more, then that could definitely be communicated as you are unemployable. And those seizures are being treated, they're diagnosed, they know what they are. So just because you have a condition that doesn't like fit into the listing, the blue books for Social Security, which there's many of them out there, then you can still get approved. Yeah.
So be all about how it limits your ability to work. Yeah.
How it limits and how it's documented. Are your
And how it's documented. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, I got one last question here from our participants. From A1, what do you do if you have to move out of state because it is cheaper in another state?
Yeah, we just covered this a few weeks ago, and the housing situation, this is one way to address it. Now, I don't know if you're approved or not approved, but so I'll address both. If you started your application process and you want to move to, like, there was 3 cities in Texas. I'm trying to come up with one of them as an example, but it was down by San Antonio. So anyway, if you want to move,
Bronzeville,
pardon me?
New Bronzeville.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So you want to move to, what is it again? New
Bronzeville.
Brownsville? Is that it?
Yes, yes.
You want to move to New Brownsville, Texas. Economical, they've got services down there. It all checks out. So if you started the application process, your application is going to be moved down there. That's probably not good news because the application wait time is long down there. But it would just continue, not start over or anything. Now, if you're already approved for disability benefits and you're moving into another area, no problem. It's just change of address. Make sure you change your address, and you can continue on your way. It's a sound strategy to look at, but you know, as we mentioned in that live event, you want to look at not just the cost of living, but you want to look at the support resources that are there for your condition and your healthcare that can take care of you. But I think it's good thinking.
So yeah, those are all the questions that I have for you, Brian.
Okay, great. Few things in closing. We have some upcoming events on that will be live. So next week, the discussion in the interview is going to be about slam dunk approvals. Like, what is it that takes for like a judge, if he sees a case, he's like, makes a decision right on the bench. So Michael Sexton is going to be our guest here, and he's going to go through like some real live examples, and he's going to give you some things not to do. And you're going to learn, do I have to have like an exceptional case like the one that was shared here today with somebody that's severe? Or can you have a case that's just properly put together and clearly communicated, allowing Social Security to make a quick decision? So slam dunks. That's next week. Later in the month, we have a first-time guest coming on the 24th, Andrea Bocci. And she is an individual that runs a business despite having a disability. She's going to share what her business is, how she gets started, what some of the obstacles are. Now, regardless if you want to start a business or not, hopefully you'll gather some inspiration from her experience. But in addition to that, she now has, as part of her business, helping other people that have conditions or limitations. She provides free services that are different than what we do here. They're actually complementary. So I encourage you to tune into that. As we get into October, those of you that are on benefits or soon to be on benefits, it's a critical time of year to get set up so that you can maximize everything that you're going to get in 2026. And to do that, we have Mark Sneerowicz coming, who is a Medicare benefit expert. There's been scandal in the Medicare industry. As a result, there's been a lot of changes in the Medicare industry. It's going to affect doctors' networks, benefits, those notices of change that come out, which we've already seen some. We expect there to be a significant difference. So you want to make sure you get tuned into that. Following that up, we'll actually have an event where we'll show you how to take out your notice of change, look at it, go through it, help you understand how to do it, review it, and what your options are. So we're going to try to do that on a broad scale. Here at the Disability Digest, as part of your membership, we do review benefits. It's complimentary. It's part of your membership, but it's just so late in the year and we have so many in the pipeline that we won't be able to get to everybody in time. So we're going to do this as part of our live event. We'll have 2 benefit experts here in addition to us, Gloria and what's that other lady? Daphne.
Daphne.
I know who it was. So that'll be fun. So if you haven't subscribed, encourage you to do so, ring the bell so you get notifications on that. And just as a reminder, these events that we have coming up, just little soundbite snippets. The best way we can help you is when, or if you join us as a member, or if you're already a member, to update us. So on TikTok, you have to go to the Disability Digest. Those of you that are elsewhere joining our live event, you'll see on the screen. Actually, I'm going to go over here. I'll put this up. This is a Disability Digest page. Just come in here, click the green link, and then you'll complete your profile and you'll be on your way to getting partnered up with an advocate, getting into the right courses, support groups, and we have 24/7 support now. So if you get up at like 2 in the morning, like some of you that are not sleeping well, and you're like, how much money can I make and like keep my benefits? Well, we got you covered on that one. Okay. Last thing is this. Here at the Disability Digest, we're blessed and we're growing. And we are looking to add individuals to our team, preferably that are disability recipients. We have positions designed for you. Advocate positions is what we call them. And this work is designed to be done part-time on a schedule that ideally works for both of us. 15, 20 hours a week. And the money that you earn is going to be below the limit, so you keep all your benefits. Or if you want to go on and work at a higher degree, like ticket to work, we can do all that stuff. We know how to do it. But if supplementing your income while making a difference and joining us here is of interest to you, then I would encourage you to complete an application. Of course, we have a preference to our members, but we consider all. And I will put this in the chat for Nadine to send out and share with everybody. Okay. All right. So that concludes today's program. I thank you everybody for participating. Nadine, Philip, I couldn't do this without you. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
You
And
bet.
before we say goodbye, just a quick shout out here for everyone. According to Russell, if you haven't heard it lately, you guys are awesome. And someone also says here, thank you for all your help. The cost of living took me out of the Part B help. So,
Hey, come work with us. We'll pay you, cover it. It's an option. Got to be thinking.
uh, all right.
Got to be
Thank you so
thinking.
much,
All right,
everyone.
everybody. Have a
See
great week.
y'all.
Till next time. God bless. Be well.
See y'all next week.
I just did my first live event on TikTok from my phone, and I would like directions in how to view the live that I just did and how to view the questions during the live stream. Am I only able to view them on my phone, or is there a way that I could view them on my desktop monitor